Photocopying can be pretty dull. Sheet after sheet after sheet, followed by collating and stapling ad infinitum. Imagine doing it all day. That's what Adam Roberts used to do for a commercial airline manufacturer. His career wasn't always this humdrum. Up until October 2007, he used to make these. Some of the biggest planes in the world.
He was working in an aircraft factory, helping to apply parts to aircraft wings. He could have expected to earn anywhere between 30,000 going up to 50,000 a year, depending on where he was working and his experience.
Everything changed for Adam in 2007, whilst working on one of the largest aircraft in the world.
The accident was on the 15th of October 2007, and what he said was that he slipped on debris while he was working. The injury was a wrenching injury to the back, a soft tissue injury which was alleged to have caused some sort of spinal problems. He said that he had to use a crutch all the time, and often two crutches. He was saying that he was at a big disadvantage in the labour market because he was disabled, and it made a difference to his ability to work in future. It imperilled his ability to work in future.
Roberts, now stuck in an admin role, decided to make a claim against his employer.
He was claiming for past care afforded by his family, for unspecified aids and equipment. My assessment of the overall value of the claim, including legal costs, was £670,000.
He looked to have a solid case. Just one more thing, the insurer's medical examination.
When I got the papers, I went through them in detail, and there were a couple of things about the claim that raised my suspicions. There was no hard clinical pathology that our medical experts could find to justify the complaints. That was part of the issue for us in looking at this case very hard.
They hired a private investigator.
He was put under surveillance for a period of 3 days in June 2011. From our point of view, the surveillance on the 17th of June was the crucial surveillance. What it showed Mr. Roberts doing was, after having come home from work on the Friday afternoon, it was a Friday afternoon, he then drove to a house which we now know to have been a house his mother had just bought.
Here he comes now.
I've seen an awful lot of these over the years, but it was still pretty staggering to watch.
An industrious Roberts emerges from the house and proceeds to dump the contents of a gutted bathroom into a skip.
Firstly, he was shown putting some large pieces of board into the skip, and not just putting them in, but ramming them in, breaking them on occasion, and sometimes bashing them on the side of the skip. Then, I think, as I recall it, he and his mother brought out a bath between them, but he was the one who picked it up and upended it into the skip. He brought out a lavatory system, there was a wash basin, there was a fire surround that he spent quite a lot of time bashing around and trying to get into the skip. And there were a number of items which he was trying to break up and bashing against the side of the skip. And it culminated, as I recall, with Mr. Roberts actually jumping into the skip and actually tamping stuff down with his feet, jumping up and down on stuff a little bit, and generally trying to settle stuff down the skip by being in it. And that's the point at which, you know, I just thought, oh dear. The judges said that they felt that he was somebody who was prepared to lie to achieve his aims.
Adam Roberts was found guilty of contempt of court. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail.
People have, I think, kidded themselves into thinking they won't be found out. They will get found out, and when they get found out, as Adam Roberts' case shows, the consequences are very, very serious indeed. You can end up ruining your life. And for what?